entrepreneurs, don't play no games. Today, we are going to get into what the heaven is really going on over there at Reynolds & Reynolds with CEO Robert T. Brockman. Did you know that Robert T. Brockman has been brought up on some charges, okay? One of the charges happens to be tax evasion, which is why we're about to get into this conversation. And for the secured entrepreneurs who do not know, Reynolds & Reynolds has been around since 1866. As a matter of fact, Reynolds & Reynolds happens to be a privately held corporation, which is what makes this story all the more juicy. Okay, can I say juicy? Is that a word? I don't know. In any event, Reynolds & Reynolds produces management software for car dealerships. They also provide professional services for car dealerships. However, they produce forms for the insurance industry as well as the medical industry. And Robert T. Brockman has been the CEO there since 2006. Okay, so Ms. Aurorah is not going to get into whether or not these allegations are true, simply because what Ms. Aurorah knows is that your success will always offend someone. Oh, I'm going to say that again. Your success is going to offend someone, maybe a whole lot of people. So a lot of the things that have come out and that have been included in this indictment that was handed down and we're going to get into in this video is so... I'm going to let you decide what you think about it, and I'm going to ask you for your thoughts, all right? So you already know that I am Aurorah Dey, and this is the Secured Entrepreneur Movement. Are you ready? Let's get into this. Okay. A federal grand jury returned an indictment alleging that Brockman, the CEO of software company Reynolds & Reynolds, engaged in tax evasion, wire fraud, money laundering, and other crimes as part of a nearly 20-year scheme to conceal around $2 billion in income, keyword there, income, from the Internal Revenue Service and defraud investors in his software firm's debt securities, federal authorities said in a release. All right. Tax evasion. What does Ms. Aurorah always tell you here in the Secured Entrepreneur Movement? You can legally avoid taxation, but you cannot legally evade taxation. And the key word there was income. What is income? Income is taxable. Okay, see, so that is the very first mistake being made here, in that true indeed Robert T. Brockman is the CEO. He has a title. He is the CEO of Reynolds & Reynolds. He is employed by Reynolds & Reynolds. He is on the payroll. He is an employee earning an income that is taxable. All right, so that's the first problem. Now let's get into the wire fraud. Now, in order for an indictment to be handed down on wire fraud, some things have to be proven. Number one, prove that there has been an intent to defraud someone out of something of value, more than likely money, okay? Proof that Mr. Brockman intended to defraud these individuals via the telephone, the fax, the email, text messaging, okay? Things of this nature, all right? How many of you know that wire fraud is a felony. It's right up there with mail fraud, and Ms. Aurorah has had to tell people, please do not communicate anything to me of this nature via the United States Postal Service or any other postal service, because this is a felony, okay? And we don't want to get into anything that could potentially take us there, all right? So the wire fraud is coming with a $250,000 fine plus up to 20 years in federal prison. It is a felony. So that's pretty hefty to say that, you know, there's some wire fraud charges. Okay, money laundering. What is money laundering? Now, how many of you know, and I remember this starting back in 2015 when you went into the bank, they really didn't want to take any of your cash, and if you did deposit some cash, they got this, and they always had that thumbprint thing and all that, but then they gave you a slip of paper telling you, you know, why they weren't really going to take your cash and all of this. Oh, it's money laundering. So now Mr. Brockman is being accused of this criminal activity, and the monies that are the result of the criminal activity are considered money laundering. That's very interesting now, isn't it? Now let Mr. Aurorah go back and get on to, you know, the fact that this man is an employee. No matter, you know, he's the CEO of Reynolds and Reynolds, but he is an employee. Where does that put you in the secured entrepreneur quadrant? Hello. You are a taxpayer. And if you do not abide by the laws set forth for you as an employee and a taxpayer, you will be accused of evading taxation. That's what I want to say. Let us move on. The 39-count indictment filed earlier this month in the Northern District of California and unsealed this week reads at times like a screenplay. Allegations against Brockman include operating a complex web of foreign companies and bank accounts using unreported taxable income, keywords, taxable income, unreported taxable income to buy a luxury yacht called Turmoil, creating an encrypted email system to communicate with employees using code names such as Bonefish and Snapper. Asking a money manager to attend a money laundering conference under an assumed identity and persuading that same money manager to destroy documents and electronic media using shredders and hammers. What in the Run DMC is going on here? Turmoil? I don't want to say anything about the names because I think all of them are darling. I mean, really, Bonefish, Snapper. It's original. Okay, anyway. Let me talk about, is it illegal to have a foreign company? Nope. As a matter of fact, it's very legal for foreigners to come to the United States and have a United States company and not even be a citizen, not even be a resident. We all know this. Is it illegal to have offshore bank accounts? Nope, it's not illegal. So it goes right back to the initial mistake being made. Intentional or unintentional, I don't know. I don't know Mr. Brockman, okay? It is clearly stating that this is unreported taxable income. Okay. And then you've got the tangible evidence of a luxury yacht. And then clearly there's some tangible evidence in addition to some physical testimony as it relates to what it is Mr. Brockman has asked people to do. He asked people to destroy evidence. He has asked people to attend this little sneaky conference for money laundering. Now, see, I really don't know how to, that when I don't even know what to think about that. I don't know, and it had code words. I don't know what to say about that. Secure entrepreneurs. Blow up the comments, because that's imagination at its finest. Woo! That's some Harry Potter stuff. Okay, let's finish this. A spokesperson for Reynolds and Reynolds said the allegations in the indictment focus on activities Brockman engaged in outside of his professional responsibilities with Reynolds and Reynolds, according to a statement provided to CNN Business. The company is not alleged to have engaged in any wrongdoing, and we are confident in the integrity and strength of our business. All right, I get it. As I said previously, that wire fraud charge is coming with a $250,000 fine and up to 20 years in prison. Well, if an organization has been found to have committed wire fraud, that is a $500,000 fine. And then, of course, there would be prison time for any individuals who participated. So, it makes sense for them to say, well, Mr. Brockman acted on his own. However, at this time, I have not seen where Mr. Brockman has been removed from his position as CEO with Reynolds and Reynolds. Okay, so now the reason why Mr. Aurorah is getting into this is because, here at the Secured Entrepreneur Movement, we teach the entrepreneur how to go from sole proprietor to CEO. But this is a very bad example of how we conduct ourselves financially or in commerce as the CEO. So we just want to be aware of our actions, of our movements, and how we are communicating with individuals that we are working with, whether it be business to business, clients, customers, things of that nature. And as a matter of fact, that in the past, Mr. Aurorah had to do a video about your email and when your email becomes a binding contract. Okay, so if you get the opportunity to read this case, you're going to see all of the things that Mr. Brockman is unfortunately accused of as the CEO of Reynolds and Reynolds. Okay, so you all know that you can find me, Miss Aurorah Dey, at AurorahDayConsulting.com. And until next time,